Welcome. Today we have the pleasure of engaging Werner Sels, the founder and CEO of Lignaverda, a pioneering organization dedicated to landscape restoration in semi-arid regions. Werner's work has been instrumental in combating desertification and promoting sustainable development across Africa. Let's now explore the impactful initiatives Lignaverda is undertaking, particularly in Namibia. Werner joins us from Belgium. Werner, good evening. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Good evening. My pleasure.
To start with, perhaps you can briefly describe Lignaverda's mission and, of course, the core values that drive your organization's efforts in landscape restoration, and also talk to us about the decision to rebrand from Entrepreneurs Without Frontiers.
Yes, of course. Well, as organization Lignaverda plants trees across the border of the desert to stop desertification because of climate change. That's the key, what we are doing. And of course, we believe in creating long-term impactful partnerships with communities, companies and stakeholders to restore ecosystems while empowering local populations to benefit from productive landscapes. And yes, we started as Entrepreneur Without Frontiers, but changing the name to Lignaverda is, more strategic. I mean, when we are in Senegal or in Burkina Faso, we are des Entrepreneurs Sans Frontières. In Belgium, it calls Ondernemers Zonder Grenzen. And of course, in Namibia, it will be Entrepreneurs Without Frontiers. So it's very difficult to communicate with that name. And that's why we changed it into Lignaverda. Linea, it means wood or tree. And Verda, it means green.
Werner, talk to us about the primary ecological, social and economic benefits that Lignaverda aims to achieve, through its reforestation projects. How do these align with global sustainable development goals?
Well, we have three major impact goals. It's ecological, social, and economical. And when we see, for example, only the economical impacts, there we try to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals of the United Nations. 13, it's climate, and 15, it's life on land or biodiversity. In the social impacts that we try to achieve, we like to realize SDG 2, food empowerment and food independency, because we like people using the forest to do agriculture in the forest. That's one. And of course, two, the money they gain with agroforestry, then children can go to school. And also we aim gender equality, SDG 5, to realize financial independency for women. And then, of course, for economy or the economical impact that we try to realize, it's economy. We try to raise jobs with reforestation. So jobs means also income, and income means economy. Mm-hmm. And that's SDG 8. And of course, the total of all those SDGs, we try to really realize SDG 16, it's peace, and SDG 17, partnerships with each other.
Just provide an overview of Lignaverda's projects here in Namibia, including the regions that you've identified that will be involved and the specific strategies that are being employed.
Yes, we always start with pilot projects. We did that in Burkina Faso, we did also that in Senegal, and now for Namibia it's the same. We first set out some pilot projects in the north, more specifically in Sia, near Rundu. There we have a plot of 100 hectares where we work together with the government of Namibia. And then I think in this year we will also have a second pilot project in Divundu. And those two pilot projects we work together with the University of Antwerp in Belgium, but also with in the future with the universities of Windhoek. After those pilot projects where we try and see how we can work with the population, how we can work with the government, what are the laws, and so on. It takes about 1 or 2 years, and then we can develop, of course, more areas to reforest. In Namibia, it's a special country because there are 3 different kinds of land, like community land, communal land, and private land. And here we try to see how we can manage this with all parties together to reforest.
Speaking of, working together with the stakeholders locally, speak to us about how Lignaverda collaborates with, our local authorities and our communities here in Namibia to ensure that the projects are tailored to meet local needs and, of course, sustainable over the long term.
Yes, I'm happy that you asked this question. It's a very important question. And of course, the success rate, and we saw that also in Burkina Faso or in Senegal, the success rate is really the cooperation with the local population, where well, in effect, to speak in economical terms, it's our buy-in. We provide the reforestation to the population, and we ask them, all the benefits are for them, and in return we ask to protect and to take care for the forest. And that's the way how we work. And we hope that we also can establish this in Namibia. And of course, on region, we have some talks on region level, but of course also on a higher level with the Namibian authorities.
Mm-hmm. Werner, do you perhaps use any technologies or innovative techniques, to enhance the success of your reforestation efforts?
Yes. Look. Also, Namibia is a very dry a very dry country. Like I can compare that with Senegal and Burkina Faso in the north, where water is very scarce. And that means that we need to work with water retention systems. Here we work with the Valerani technique. It's an Italian engineer who developed a special plow to make the ground open and to make half moons, water basins, while they collect all the water during rain season. And that's the way we can provide young trees for water. And we see that also in Namibia, all those trees, they first develop their roots, and once they found water deep under the ground, then they start to grow. But that's the only way to work with water retention systems like the Valerani technique, because to irrigate thousands and thousands of hectares, it would mean that we would need to take water from people and cattle, and that's not our goal. So we try to use only the water that comes from the rain.
Briefly touched on your work that you've done in Burkina Faso, Senegal. So can you perhaps share some success stories from the projects that Lignaverda has undertaken there, and of course, how these inform your approach to Namibia?
Oh, yes, of course. I think I'm a little bit, how do you kind of say that best in English? I'm proud of what we are achieving in Burkina Faso and Senegal. Together, we already give 30,000 people a job, direct and indirect, because of new forests. So those people who has a job, children can go to school, women are has an income, also women, but also men earn their money. Those people, they do not want to migrate anymore, even not migration in the country itself, or migration to, for example, to Europe or to the United States or whatever, because I believe nobody wants to migrate. That's one. Of course, everybody is free to migrate to study or whatever, but a lot of people like to stay at home. But of course, it needs to be possible. And what you see because of climate change, people can't make their own living anymore. And thanks to reforestation, we see now for 30,000 people, 17,000 hectares, we already give those people a job. And there are no more conflicts in that region, in that Sahel region. And I think that's a real success that we created in those countries, and that we also want to establish in Namibia. We are sure that we also can do thousands and thousands of hectares of new reforestation. We can provide also food and agriculture. We will need a lot of people to realize this. So we are looking out to work with the Namibians themselves and hope for prosperity for everyone.
Werner, just as we round off our discussion, are there plans to expand Lignaverda's initiatives to other regions or countries? And if so, what factors, of course, influences this decision?
Well, yes, Namibia is now our focus country in the southern hemisphere, but we are also looking for Botswana and South Africa. And one of the main issues is always stability, political stability, because investors who want to invest in reforestation, they need stability, political stability. And I think in countries like Namibia, Botswana, and South Africa, we have political stability and we can expand there.
Well, Werner, we know that, of course, you're going to be on your way to Namibia soon in a couple of weeks. We hope that we can catch up with you then and see how your excursion a second time around is going in Namibia. But for now, we thank you so much for your time and thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Well, that was Mr. Werner Sels speaking to us, the CEO and founder of Lignaverda. When we come back after this break, we continue with our conversations here on the Daily Roundup. Stay with us.